Mochi Health is here to help you start your weight loss journey with caring, personalized support. Meet one-on-one with board-certified obesity doctors and registered dietitians who truly listen and understand your unique needs. Eligible patients can access affordable GLP-1 medications delivered right to their door each month. No insurance? No problem. Mochi Health accepts FSA and HSA, making care accessible and affordable. And with 24/7 customer service, you'll never feel alone on your path to better health. Get started with Mochi Health today. Take the free quiz at joinmochi.com and use code AUDIO40 at checkout for $40 off your first month of membership. That's joinmochi.com with promo code AUDIO40.
Forever change the way you sleep with the softest 100% organic cotton sheets from Boll & Branch. You'll fall asleep faster wrapped in the most luxurious comfort. You'll never sleep hot again with sheets that feel airy and breathable. You'll experience the purest softness on night one and feel your sheets get even softer with every wash. Take 20% off your first set of sheets during Boll & Branch's annual spring event at bollandbranch.com with code WONDERY20. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Welcome back to Connect with Jonathan Mark. Every week I come into these episodes very cold. I really don't want to know much about any case because then I feel like, I will look it up and then I'll start to be like, let's not repeat what's on the internet, etc. So when I come into these episodes, more times than not, I'm assuming it's a murder case. More times than not, because that's what people reach out to me a lot about. Well, today, I came into this recording not knowing anything and, kind of assuming that it was going to be a murder case. And instantly, I look and you can hear that it was a missing persons case. I discovered it was a missing persons case. So the reading completely shifted. It was a very different type of reading. Now, when I do these readings, guys, imagine playing Pictionary and imagine trying to decipher what an image is being shown to you. That's basically what it was like for me. And also, I'm just a vessel. So I'm kind of just trying to communicate what's being shown to me. And this was a very interesting episode to see how I could deal with a missing persons case. So let's jump right into it. I'm not gonna lie, this seems to be pretty heavy, I guess is the word I want to use. So okay, who's the P name?
Peter.
I'm just going to tell you what I'm seeing and then you can stop me just because there's a lot that I don't want to miss. So the first thing that they keep showing to me is this, that, wait, is he an unsolved or missing person? Because it's being shown like a missing person to me.
He's missing.
Has it been a long time? Has it been like a year or so?
Yeah, March 8th was a year.
So I'm going to talk to you about things leading up to it because there's a lot. Well, the first and foremost, there's this. This does not seem like normal behavior for him. And I know people will say that for majority of people, but honestly, this does not seem like normal behavior. What they're also showing to me too is when someone cheers me, and it's just a sign for me when someone will sometimes, unfortunately, maybe drink too much or take extracurricular things aside from drinking. So whether they or do substances to some extent, because that's what is being shown. What is also being shown too, and I'm only saying this just because it's what's also being shown. When someone taps out and they flicker their brain at me, when I bring up mental illness to some extent, it does not mean what we see on TV when someone's talking to a tree or something. It's really, it could be various things where it's depression, bipolar, things that are a little bit more into detail about sorts of things. Also too, the randomness of this is huge for me. This does not seem very normal. Oh my God. So can I explain to you what I'm seeing as far as the landscape? You guys must be living in a very woodsy area. They're putting Florida in front of me. So very swamp or swamp-like area where there's a lot of swamps, or there's just woods everywhere, like acres of woods, acres of just like water, and acres of wildlife, I will say. What's also interesting too is, and I don't know if this is exactly what it is, but I'm assuming when someone called to do like a wellness check, or just whatever it was, or someone came to their house, the way that's being shown to me, and you can again correct me if I'm wrong, it's more so like if someone intruded into the house, like someone broke in and someone, when I say ransacked the house, it's like breaking things, it's like moving things, like things were destroyed to some extent, because it does look like it would be like appearing to me like a robbery. Not saying that that's what the situation is, but what's being shown to me is that like robbery look of someone breaking in. The thing that is weird is when someone, I know it's going to sound weird, drops like DNA, so it could be blood, spit, whatever it is, right? It looks like there was some type of DNA within that, when I call it robbery scene, I guess you can call it, whether there was blood, spit, or whatever it is. The thing that what's really being shown is there was items left behind, whether it was at the house or nearby the house, like his items that were left behind. And I'm not talking about like a car or something. I'm talking about like items that people would use, whether it's like a wallet, a phone, clothes, whatever it is. There seems to have been things, whether it's literally at the house or near the house. Now, what's also interesting about this is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong with this, is the lack of attention on this case, and also the lack of resources on this case too. Because really what is being shown is, it just seems like you guys kind of exhausted all options, if I'm being honest, from what's being shown. Now, the biggest part that I'm seeing that I'm going to try and do my best to help with is finding some piece of, when I say evidence, or some piece of DNA or something, because it doesn't seem like there's much of anything. Like, to me, the way what's being shown, it's up and vanished. Like literally up and vanished. Like there doesn't seem like there's really much of anything that people are going off of at all, even a year later, it appears. Who's the I name?
He's got a nephew named Ian.
Who's running the search right now?
It's just been me, Kayla, and my daughter Isabel, and Ian.
Is hunting big for you guys where you are?
Yes.
Like, is the land that you go onto like used for hunting in any type of way?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they like ransack the entire like forest or like woodsy area, whatever it is, because it seems like it was ransacked, like as far as like people looking. The reason why I'm saying this is because it doesn't look like where he is too far from where you guys are right now. Like it doesn't look like he picked up his stuff and went to another country or like another state. It does look like, the reason why I brought up mental illness before, do you know people that are like manic and that like panic a lot? Like they have like paranoia to some extent, or just bipolar or whatever it is, whether it's the ups and the downs, but there's like sometimes when they hit a manic state, they grab things and run. Do I think that was partially that? Yes. Do I think there was some criminal activity involved? I do, if I'm being honest with you. But I do think there's a lot of like manic depression or something that kind of goes with this. But I think the thing that's confusing me with this when I'm like looking and I guess tapping in is this scene, or I guess his house or where he was last. Like there had to have been some type of, again, I'm using this term robbery scene, but the robbery scene typically when I depict a robbery scene is broken things that are misplaced. That like it doesn't seem like someone walked into the house and cleaned the house or just left it the way that it was. Like this looks like someone went in there and was destroying things or moving things. Like that's the part that I'm kind of getting 50-50 with when I'm doing this reading, is because a lot of this keeps showing up to me as, who has a cell phone? Because he keeps throwing a cell phone at me. Because they keep throwing cell phones at me, saying someone either found a cell phone or someone has a cell phone.
There were several cell phones found. They did connect one cell phone to him, like under his name, the one that he used. They finally just asked the FBI to try to use their technology to get into it because the PD that is working on it now and the BCA haven't been able to get into it. So it's been a year and they still haven't gotten into it.
The thing that's interesting about this is this doesn't seem like he is far away from where he was or where you guys are. The only issue that I see, if I'm being honest, is how much land that there is. And even between homes, it seems like there's a lot of land. So if people have acres and then the next house, there's acres. And then the next house, there's acres. Like there seems like there's so much green space to do so many things. What I also see too, which is really weird to me, is I'm sure you guys have Ring cameras and stuff, right? Like people have like the Ring cameras or like the things, because he keeps tapping the Ring camera in front of me saying that there's inconsistencies with, I guess, where he's from or where he was last from with Ring cameras. So it looks like there was some footage and then all of a sudden it's just gone, is what he keeps showing to me. It's like it's there, then it's gone. What he's also showing to me too is it does, and I know I brought this up again, the robbery scene, it does look like he was forced out of wherever he was at that time, whether it's his home, a friend's home, whatever. Because what it's showing to me, and now this makes more sense, when I was talking about the DNA stuff, there looks like there was blood there. It doesn't look like spit or anything or like a used like Gatorade bottle. It looks like there was actual blood or someone's blood there. What's also very difficult about this, what is being shown to me, is I know you guys have reached out to the FBI, which I'm very happy about that you did for the technology, but it also seems like the technology to decipher DNA blood didn't really do like a fantastic job, if I'm being honest. Like it looked like it could be something, but it's not strong enough like DNA or blood to be able to be like, this is 100% what it is. I know I already said this, but where he went is not far from you guys, like on foot. The problem that I see is two things, is weather and wildlife are the two things that I see that are problematic with it. And again, what they're also showing to me too is, this is going to sound very stupid, so just bear with me. What is it like a reservoir where you guys are from? Like where are you guys from? Like what?
A reservation.
Oh, a reservation. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
I know I sound stupid. It's just what's being shown to me. Just bear with me when I tell you this, because it's gonna make sense. I promise. Just but are there farms where you like where he's from, or people that have like wildlife that like walk around a lot? Do you know? They basically make me do like Pictionary. So like that's kind of where I'm at with this right now. So when someone puts like, geese, roosters and stuff that are walking across, right? Like actual wildlife that people have to walk from house to house, what they're showing to me is it's literally, if he's at the corner of the block, it's like the opposite side of the block, but deep into the woods. Like it doesn't look like he's truly like very far. The thing that's tough from what I'm being shown is wildlife and like, I guess the terrain, because they're showing me like this. So when someone shows me like this, it's weather change that I see that's problematic too. Whether it could be hot during the day, then very cold at night, and hot during the day and very cold at night. And what I also see too, it's kind of like if someone knew he was going through a manic episode and put him somewhere on purpose and just let nature take its course, kind of. Like to me, that's a crime. Like that's just a crime to me. Like if you know someone's like that, because it does seem like he was kind of forced against his will to walk that way. Like it doesn't look like he just, and again, this is the biggest thing that I want to reiterate about this is it doesn't look like his typical behavior was to wander off. Just in general speaking, it doesn't seem like that. I want to ask you this too, because they're saying the things to identify him are two things. Does he have tattoos all over his arm?
Yes.
Because they're showing to me like that's going to be a way to identify him. What it also seems to is, and this is also something that I want to ask you, but is it a swamp area where the water rises and drops in certain points where you guys are from?
Yes.
Like if you walk into it, because what's being shown is water. They're comparing it to one cases that I've worked with where they tried a very long time to find someone, But because it was in a similar terrain, the water was rising and dropping so many times that it was very difficult to find any type of DNA, just like in general. It was just very, very hard because of how much the terrain like rose and dropped. That's what I see in this situation. What I also see too is, and what I'm going to do now is like point you in a direction, because like really it seems like from what I'm seeing, the police seems like interviewed a crap ton of people. Like it doesn't look like they didn't do that. It seems like they spoke to a lot of people. So it seems like where his house is, from what is being shown, to the opposite side is something must have been found by him. Like something must have been found, because they're saying it's within the same block. Doesn't seem like it's like 3 blocks over. It looks like if it's on one block, they're putting an arrow all the way down saying it's in the same street, essentially. But what they're doing is that's a starting point. If you go there and go like back, the thing is that when someone is manic, they can walk, and survival of the fittest, like they can walk a long time. And it seems like he went pretty deep in.
This new year, why not let Audible expand your life by listening? Explore over 1 million audiobooks, podcasts, and exclusive Audible originals that'll inspire and motivate you. Tap into your well-being with advice and insight from leading professionals and experts on better health, relationships, career, finance, investing, and more. Maybe you want to kick a bad habit or start a good one. If you're interested in learning how to master your emotions and hearing scientifically backed advice for using your emotions as a tool, may I suggest Shift by psychologist and bestseller author Dr. Ethan Kross? Trust me, listening on Audible can help you reach the goals you set for yourself. Start listening today when you sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
Now, again, I want to go back to the company that he keeps and the people that were surrounding him that were doing extracurricular activities of sorts. And it seems like it's like when someone makes a mistake and mistake goes a little too far with things, like whether he did something or he was involved in something, and whatever the case is, it doesn't mean that he did anything criminal. Really what it means is the people that he was with, he was a part of something, whether he like partook in a situation or not. I don't think he did anything, because he doesn't come across like that to me, where he is like that. It's just the company that he keeps is like constantly being like repeated. But I want you guys, when you go to like the end of the block or wherever it is, the opposite side, he's putting like roosters, whether it's a name of a street, a name of an area, or like chickens or something, like turkeys, whatever. It's a sign for something, because that's what literally, it's like Pictionary. He's not that far behind. Like he's really not that far behind. And another thing is what's being shown to me, they're tapping my laptop right now, which typically indicates to me there has not been a lot of exposure on this case at all, if not any, because he's saying that he's like, it's being shown that they're thankful that this is even being spoken about, because it needs more attention and more resources from people to even get more information out. Now, another thing too is they keep putting handcuffs in front of me, which typically indicates, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, if you're from a reservation, you have your own police, correct? It's not like state police, or it's not anything. It's like your own police. Because what I see is people know, like where you're from, everyone knows everyone too. Like it seems like it's a very well-connected area. So it seems like if someone was to speak up, it could be also problematic, because if they knew where his last whereabouts were, that's also problematic too, because then they lied for a year, essentially, not saying that they knew anything. And that's what I see as a big thing, is everyone knows everyone where you're from. And I also see too that people do know what happened. And again, I'm not accusing anyone. It just looks like the neighbor or whoever has some type of footage that is like inconsistent or found something up the road, heard or saw something. That's the biggest thing that I see, because I think some people are afraid to talk and step forward when it comes to things. But the person who either got his like piece of clothing, a cell phone, or wherever it was found, because it does look like it was on someone's property. Doesn't look like it was on his property. It looks like it was someone else's property. They heard or saw something, whether they wanted to say something or not. That's the biggest thing of where you should, and I'm sure so many people have spoken to them and interrogated or interviewed, whatever. I just think people are afraid to talk where you're from what I can see. But like I said, the positive thing is that I see he's really not that far. Can you please share like anything you have so we can let the audience know?
Kayla's got all the information.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Very respectful. I like that. Very respectful.
Yes, always. So Peter Martin, we live here on the Fond Du Lac Reservation in Cloquet, Minnesota. He has his own house on the reservation on Mahnomen Road. Here on the reservation, we have districts. So there's districts of people that live close to each other, and there's 3 of them. So he lives in the Brookston district, and the houses are close, but it's surrounded by the Fond du Lac forest. So there's forests, there's swamps, bogs. The St. Louis River goes through it, comes through Cloquet, goes all the way to Duluth into the Lake Superior, which is the largest lake in the United States. So Peter went missing March 8th, 2024. He was last seen close to his home. We were able to go inside his house and collect some personal items. And his house was ransacked, or like you said, it was just a mess. There was some DNA found that we seen that was circled. They took a lot of his things to keep for DNA samples and stuff like that. Linda, the family, and friends, they all came together right away after they saw that there was a bunch of police at his house. And so right away, March 11th, we started a volunteer search. So the PD started searching on their own with their own leads or, with their own specific equipment. And we started searching in his immediate area by his house right away on March 11th. That eventually led out in a big radius around the immediate area. And for like a solid month, we had people searching, volunteers. The Fond du Lac Reservation actually allowed their employees to come help us. So the natural resources departments, the forestry departments, the pipeline people that worked for the res got to come out. Construction companies that are local and indigenous got to help out as much as they can. We searched in the immediate radius. Linda, I think we searched, it was like 1,000 acres, 1,000 miles of searching in the area. And it's heavily wooded. So a lot of the PD, they were like, if we can't make it through here, neither can Peter, but we're still going to try. We are surrounded by other counties, and they've been working with the St. Louis County. The Fond du Lac PD has been working with the St. Louis County because that's the closest county, but they also let other counties know about it. So this past year, people have been coming up with rumors, with stories. The Ring camera footage, is here and there. A lot of people on the reservation can't afford to have Ring cameras or can't afford to get the cameras that can see at night also. So that was the thing we kind of ran into. The family hired a private investigator that that helped a little. We got a report from that. The BCA got involved as soon as they found enough evidence to get a warrant to search the house and do what they need to. But still, the evidence wasn't there. It wasn't enough to bring in the FBI. It wasn't enough to bring in all these really hard-hitting entities to really assist and work on it instead of assisting. So it's been a lot of just the St. Louis County PD, Fond du Lac PD, the BCA got involved. Recently, the BIA did, Bureau of Indian Affairs, and they helped us with a $5,000 reward. So we're hoping, a reward fund would help. those types of things. And then the FBI is just assisting, with the phone.
That's huge though. That's really big. That's gonna at least see his activity and stuff like the night of or the day of or weeks before, just in general. Because again, the biggest thing that I was seeing is the company that you keep. And I use that phrase just because I don't want to like say certain things on here that are super direct, but it's the company that you keep. But I also see too, it's a big paranoia, it kind of seems like, from what's coming through, like as far as if there was any mental illness that he had to some extent. And again, it doesn't mean when I bring up mentally ill in general that you're talking to a leaf or to a tree. It's an actual chemical imbalance. And I think people, obviously watch movies and they see someone who's mentally ill and they're like, oh, that's what it is. And it's like, not really. Because I also see too that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong with this, when someone like kind of squeezes a towel in front of me, nothing drips out, it means like there's been no tips or no anything for quite some time. It doesn't seem like, it kind of seems like when like things run dry and there's like nothing and you need to soak something up to get more to pull. Like that's what is being shown. And I have to be honest, you're pretty close from what I see when it comes to things. Also, again, I just want to reiterate, and I know it's really a stupid sign, so just bear with me. When they're putting the wildlife of someone with like their own livestock, like literally that lives in their acres, it's not that far from where he was. But the thing, again, that is interesting to me is when they put a line, like I was saying, and where he's from to where things were found, it's like a triangle. It's like you have like the 2 points that meet to the top. That's what I keep seeing. The problem is the terrain, like you were saying. It's like if it's heavily wooded or heavily anything, there's wildlife, there's the weather, there's just so many factors that can happen. It's very difficult. I do think from what I can see, you're going to find some type of DNA or something. Do I think it's going to be a lot? I don't think so, if I'm being honest with you. But I think it's going to be enough to rope in other outside resources, just like the FBI or people like that. I just think there's something coming up where you're going to find something in the woods. And what's interesting, what I brought up about the hunting thing, like I said, if it's tough terrain, then it's probably tough to hunt because it's just a tough terrain to hunt. But I do see someone's going to stumble upon something accidentally. Like, do I think someone's going to be looking for it? No. I think someone's going to stumble upon something accidentally when it comes to it, whether it's an article of clothing or something where it could lead back to him. I just am thankful that you trusted me to even do this. And I'm forever grateful that we can put this story out there and get more attention on it so people can, start doing their internet like sleuthing and finding some stuff out. Because the biggest thing for me, and again, I know I already mentioned a couple of things, but it's the company you keep and it's really the people that were close to him. And it's not family, it's people that he would hang out with. It's not family. And I can't stress that enough, that sometimes people are afraid to step forward and speak. And I just want to say something so small, speaking up about something that you think is so small is probably very large in this case. It's a very large, like just stepping up to talk. So I'm hoping that this really helps out.
Well, thank you for having the time to meet with us too.
Any way that I can help, obviously I will always help. Like I will always be here, I will always help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kayla and Linda, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. I just want to remind you guys that when we do these cases, it's forever changing. I mean, there's new investigators, FBI gets brought on. So I'm going to highly encourage you guys to always check out the show notes because we're going to be changing emails, phone numbers, everything. So when you guys investigate and do your job very well, may I add, just always refer to those show notes. Now, please do not forget to rate and review the show. It really, really helps out the show so much, and it means a lot to me. And if you or someone you know has been affected by a case, an unsolved case, now a missing persons case, please email connectjonathanmark@gmail.com or send a DM at JonathanMarkMedium on Instagram. I will see you next week.